Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Sishyam Tam Todakam Vartikakaramanyānasmadgurūn Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Puranānāmalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vitvaram Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bahirivodbhutam Yata Nidraya Yasakshat kurute prabodha samaye swatmanamevadvayam tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Prabodha samaye sakshat kurute aparoksham atma iti sakshat kurute jnana samaye jnana utpatti samaye samadhistau yes sakshat kurude prabodha samaye swa atmanameva advayam iti. One's own self is the non-dual presence. And here we saw that Atma Sattarupaha tata Prakasharupavan Atma. Prakashayati sarvam swayam prakashayati cha. And swayam prakashatvat sarvam prakashayati. In the verse 22 of the Ullasa, Nya ayam ghatoyam pata iti evam nana pratidishu arka prabha eva jnanam tat swayam eva prakashat. Ayam gataha, this is pot. Ayam pataha, this is cloth. Iti, in this way, nana pratidishu, in all the various perceptions. Arka prabha eva, it is light alone is perceived in the shape of the pot, in the shape of the cloth. The eyes can see only the light. It cannot see the pot. What are you seeing? If somebody asks, are you seeing the pot? No. I'm seeing the light. That is Vedanta. It is true. Eyes cannot see the pot. Mind is understanding it as a pot. The shape of the light, and that is received by the eyes, is known by the mind as the pot. Because eyes do not have the intelligence to know it is a pot. Eyes can only record the light. So, ayam gataha, ayam pataha iti evam, nana pratidishu, in all these perceptions. What is it? Arka prabha. Arka means sun. Arka prabha. Now in English become ark. Ark. Then arka. Arka prabha eva. Tad jnanam. And arka prabha suryasya. Suryaha swayam prakashati. So to see the sun, you don't need any light. But see anything else, you need the sunlight. The light of the sun is able to make us see the things, but to see the sun, there is no light necessary. In the same way, yatya jnanam sambhavati vritti rupena tat sarvam chaitanya prakashadeva. To know the Chaitanya, like that of the sun, sarvam prakashayati. Atma. Bhagavan has said in Gita also that aham aditya gatam tejaha jagat bhasayate akilam yat chandramasi yat chagno tat tejo vidhi mamakam. Mamakam mama. Mama eva prakashaha surye chandramasi jyoti swarupe or agnau sarvatra nakshatreshu sarva all in all the illuminating things. I am the prakashakara. Aham, I the one who is in the form of all the lights. Natatra suryaha badina chandra tarakam na ima vidyutaha bhanti kutaha ayam agnihi. Why it is not possible? Why? Because the sun itself, being of the nature of light, in the same way, Atma itself of the nature of Chaitanya, to know it, there is no need for a thought. It is Swayam Prakasha Swarupa. So here, this example that is given as the sun is to indicate that just as sun's light alone make us able to see all objects, but just to see the sun there is no light needed. In the same way, to know everything we need Chaitanyam, which is of the nature of light. But to know the Chaitanya, we don't need anything else. Swayam Prakasha Swarupatvat. So Jnanasya Swaprakashatvam. Sarva Jantushu Avishishtam Yat Jnanam Tasya Swaprakasham Ekatvam Cha Sadayati. Ayamiti. Swajnanam Swasya Drashtuhu Swarupam Udam Jnanam Swayameva Prakashate Spurati Ityartaha. Prakashate, when it is said, one would think that consciousness has some kind of a light. How much wattage? What is the wattage of the sun, of this consciousness? Say Prakasha here to be understood Spurana, Spandana, awareness. This awareness is what is referred as Prakash. मैं जानता हूं, मैं हूं, इसका नाम है स्फुरण. I am. This I am is known. This knowing is what is called light. It is not a physical light, so to say. Because we cannot comprehend, we cannot express that nature of the light I mean, why do we need a light? Because to see something, to know something. In the same way, awareness is a knowing principle. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Iti Taittiriya Upanishad. This Upanishad says that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Jnanam means to know, jna. So awareness is what is referred as this light here. Because when you say, I understood, they say that, then his face lit up. What is my face? You put a candle next to him and it lit up or what? Meaning, I know it. That knowing is what is here as light. Prakashatvam is Puranatvam. Spandanatvam, awareness. And to indicate that only we show the light in front of the Bhagavan. The light is to say that because of which alone I come to know who I am. Even I say as I am is because of you. And everything is known after your light only. Because only when I know I am, then only I can know everything else. One who does not, yasya swayam prajna na asti chet, tasya anyasya prajna kadam bhavati. When one does not have awareness of oneself, how can he be aware of anything else? So now you see, in this section, it is about prakashatvam, swaprakashatvam. Now, next verse, he continues on that. Why he is taken? Because in the previous verse, he has said two aspects of Ishvaraha we should understand. Jnana kriye shivena aikyas sankrante sarvajantushu. They both come together. Ishvaratvam cha jivanam siddham tat shakti sangamat. I think we have seen that. Have you not? You have to say yes. Jnana kriye, jnanascha kriyacha, jnana kriye. So knowledge and action, shivena aikyat, it is together in him, Ishvare. Tat sankrante, coming together, sarvajantushu, in all beings. Sarva vastushu nahi, not all it matters, sarva jantushu, in all living beings. Ishvaratvam jivanam, jivanam ishvaratvam. Therefore, the Ishvaratva which is there present in all living beings, siddham. Ishvaratvam jivanam siddham. Because jnana and kriya, wherever it is, that is alive. Knowing and doing, wherever it is, that is called life. So knowing and doing is the nature of Ishvara. And therefore, all living beings are having Ishvaratvam. Siddham. Jivanam Ishvaratam Siddham. Because that Shanti Sangamat. Because their association with these two. So Ishvara eva Sarvatma idi Siddham. Tasmat. Therefore, in all living being, Ishvaratvam Sarvatmagatvam. In all living being, Ishvara is Sarvatmakaha. That is what, because the question was asked, Katam what do you call Sarvatmakaha Katam Sambhave. That was a question raised by in the beginning. Ishvaratvam kim, Jivatvam kim, Sarvatmakatvam kim. That was the question raised, and that is the answer here. Jnana kriya shakti man Ishvaraha sarva jantushu ekameva. Sarva jantushu sarvatmagatvat. God. And then, so what is that jnanam? Jnanam is self-awareness. And here in the next verse, if in case jnanam is not, self-awareness is not there, what happens? Jnanam na chet swayam siddh. Jnanam na, so what is that tune? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Jnanam na chet swayam siddham. Jagat andam tamo bhavet. Na chedasya kriya kachit. vyavahara katam bhavet. Jnanam na chet swayam siddham jagat andam tamo bhavet. Na chetasya kriya kachit vyavahara katam bhavet. Swayam siddham jnanam na chet. If this self-awareness had not been there, because of which everything is known, then what happened to the world? Jagat andam tamaha bhavet. There will be complete darkness. Here, darkness to be understood as unknowing, unawareful existence. If there are only inert things in this world, no living being. Living being, by very essence, is what? Self-awareness. I am. See, even in a plant which is there in your backyard has that notion I am. It may not be as much as we have, but it knows I am tree. Because it cannot distinguish I am tree. There is a man here and that, like that. I am tree. I am. And because of which it wants to survive also. It looks for water, it looks for sunlight, it looks for this and that. Without that, it would not do that. Even that plant, whereas other religious perceptions may not accept the fact that even that plant is life, but Sanatana Dharma holds that view. Even the plant is alive. And that plant also wants to survive, wants to live, wants to produce, want to prove, want to express in the form of flowers, of fruits and leaves and whatnot. So, if that self-awareness is not there, nachet jnanam, swayam jnanam nachet, swayam, self, jnanam, awareness, nachet, not there, then Jagat bandham tamo bhavet. Swayam siddham jnanam nachet. Jagat andham tamo bhavet. Jagat, the world become andham. Andham means darkness, blind. Andham, tamaha, darkness. So in a room full of chairs and tables, and then you go out, locked the door and went out. After a month you come back, it will be the same. Nothing would have happened to it. If nobody has gone into that room at all, do you think anything would change there? Unless there's an earthquake or something, that's a different thing. But it will be the same. It will not rearrange itself. Now, let us rearrange ourselves. It's very chaotic here. No. Whereas you have put a plant, a money plant there, for example, near the door or the window. It's a glass window. And you went. After a month or so, it would have grown. It would have grown. It would have captured some areas, or it would have shed some leaves. Or if it is a plant which has flowers, it would have come with some flowers. It would show its presence. It would have changed. Parinama would have happened. Some action would have happened. So, if the self-awareness had not been there, there would be complete darkness, a blind world. Chetasya na kachit kriya chet. So, asya kachit kriya na chet, sorry. Asya kachit kriya na chet, if there is no action at all, katam vyavaharaha bhavet, where would be there is any transaction? Kriya na chet, kachit vyavaharaha, kriya kachit na chet, vyavaharaha katam bhavet. Kriya here feminine, so that's right. So if there is no activity, which is the nature of consciousness, which will be taken up later, what kind of an activity that will be taken to discuss? So awareness, which includes certain kind of kriya, because the jnana and kriya both are involved in Ishvara. So if that is not there, vyavaharaha katham bhavet. How can there be action in the transaction? So here we should understand jnanasya swayam prakashatva abhyubagame badakam aha. Jnanasya aswaprakashatvam. If there is no self-awareness, then bhavatu evam jnanam ishvarasya tasya amurtasya kutaha kriya ityatah aha na chetiti. Ishvarah kartadi vyavahara siddhaye kriya api yadrishi tadrishyasya angi karyati ityartah. Now, when we say consciousness or self-awareness, it is not mute. The nature of consciousness is the nature behind all actions. Otherwise, Ishvaraha becomes na sarvakarta. What is the nature of Ishvaraha? Sarvajnaha sarvakarta, sarvakalma pala data, sarvakarma pala data, sarvavyapi. And jnanamcha, kriyacha. These two are there. Therefore, one would say, I am alive, not mute existence. As I said, even the plant is expressing itself through action, growing, changing, flowering, all that. So here, in the next one, he says, Amurteshu api kriya abhana upadi darshanam. In the next verse, he will talk about what is this kriya, what is this action, which is the nature of consciousness as he expresses himself as the Ishvara. Kriyanam aparispanda parinama swarupini spandamane bahirjnane tadankuravat bhavet kriyanam aparispanda parinama swarupini spandamane bahirjnane tadankuravat bhavet tadankuravat udbhavet. Udbhavet, correct. Kim swarupa kriya? What nature is the kriya? Because jnanascha kriyacha, both are shivena aikyat, said in the verse number 21. Jnanascha kriyacha, jnana kriye shivena aikyat. Shiva here Ishvara. So it is embedded as nature of the Ishvara as jnana and kriya. Jnanam is self-awareness. Now what is kriya? Kriya nama parispanda parinama swarupini. Kriya nama, what is known as kriya is parispanda. As I said, parispanda means awareness. Awareness in us also, in what form? Constantly in the form of I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. You may not say that. Nobody needs to say, I am, 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 I am. Nobody says that. But it is continuously throbbing. I am, I am, I am, I am. Aham aham iti sakshat atma rupena bhati. Constantly there is I am, I am, I am, I am. And not only this awareness in the form of I am is constantly there, and it also has parinama. Parinama means transformation, change, in whose presence the change takes place. Parispanda is chalanam, movement. And parinama is avastantara apattihi. Avastha antara apattihi. Apattihi, obtainment. Avastha, state. Antara, other. So moving to another state. Oh, from Florida to New Jersey? No, not that. One stage to another stage. One condition to another condition. One state of being to another state of being. Evam Swarupini Kriya Prasiddha. And example is given here, very well known, Shara Suvarnadi. And Shara is arrow. Arrow, when it is, what is arrow? Arrow is arrow only when it is moving. So the power of the arrow is only when it moves from one place to another and to hit the target. Right? If it is in one place, it is of no use. So Shara. And then another is Suvarna. Suvarna is gold. So the gold is originally found as a mere dark stone. And then it is properly polished to become gold. So it has changed from one condition to another condition. A dark, dirty condition to another condition of bright, beautiful, brilliant gold. So in the same way, sa amurteshu api upadivashat bhati ityaha. Upadivashat bhati. This is to be understood. Upadivashat bhati. According to the upadi, according to the equipments through which it expresses, it shines. Consciousness as awareness as well as action is according to the equipment through which it expresses. Spandamane iti. Like Indriya Dwaraka Manovritti Dwara Jnane Bahihi Spandamane. Indriya Dwara, through the sense organs. Manovritti Dwara. Indriya Dwaraka Manovritti Dwara. Manovritti meaning mental thought, which further, first is the consciousness expressing as a thought, and thought expressing in the form of a volition, an activity of the indriyas or senses. Indriya dwaraka manovritti dwara jnane bahi spandamane. When the knowledge starts to express itself, or spandanam, as I said, throbbing, moving itself, tad ankuravat, like a sprout, tasya jnanasya ankuravat, karyam iva, as an effect, prokta, paruvakta, kriya utbhavet. That is expression in the form of an action that takes place, like even seeing is an action, hearing is an action. So if you say, what are you doing seeing? Or is it an action or not? Action does not mean hands and legs have to work. You see, are you listening? Yes, that is an action. Smelling, that is an action. Tasting, that is an action. Feeling, touch, that is an action. So kriya here does not mean karma, action done by a body, physical movement. No. So seeing, the what kind of a movement that takes place, you tell me. If there is a light here or there is an object here in front of me, I'm just looking at it. Is it an action or not? Huh? It is action. Why? Because perception is taking place. So when I'm seeing an object, then that means the consciousness, it is coming out in the form of a vritti, thought, and the thought is flowing out as though through the eyes to comprehend an object, to see an object. That movement, chalanam, is called spandanam. That is a kriya. So a final effect, what you see, seeing is a kriya. So the final effect. So ankuravat karyam iva prurvokta. Karyam iva, as a final effect. You see, the next verse is already putting a foundation for the next verse. Verse number 2. Bijasyantarivangkuro jagadidam pragnirvikalpam punah. Bijasya antaha iva ankura. Here ankura word is to be understood as a sprout. A seed bringing out a sprout is expression of consciousness as kriya. Ishvara sannidho eva sambhavati. In the presence of the Ishvara alone, it is possible. So when you put a small seed in a small pot and water it and expose it to the sunlight, after a few days, or even, you take some of the dals, moong dal or something, and after soaking for a day, and then you put it in a dark corner, it starts sprouting. Bhagavan expressing himself. Until that what do you call, the dal is a inert thing sitting there somewhere. You just keep it there. But when you take it, put it in the water, put it in the sunlight, and after that, you're not sunlight is not necessary, just water. Put it in the darkest corner you put. Just start coming. Ankur. So the final effect is what is called kriya there. The final thing. But before that, so many things has happened, which we do not able to understand. So here, amurteshu api. Amurteshu means those which do not have form also. What does it mean? Wind, air. The air also, you feel it. Do you see it? But the movement of the air, because of which there is breeze, we can smell, we can have the breathing is possible. You don't see it. Even that is happening as an activity because Chaitanya Paramatma is there in the wind, which is making the movement is possible. So here amurteshu api upadivashat indriyadvaraka manovrittidvara jnane bahispandamani tat ankuravatasya jnanasya ankuravat jnaryameva prokta kriya udbhavet jnana vyapta arte adishaya hedu kriya jnana ashraya ayatta prana adishtita stula upadi nibandhana bhaved ityartha. Now you see, let us say I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this book. But actually I wanted to go to the page number, say page number 32. Okay. So first when I'm looking at the book is perception. Then a thought arises that I should turn the page to 32. So I take my hand and go to the book and move it to the page number 32. Now, to do this action, a power is necessary called prana. Prana is the vital air. So the vital air is acting through my hand, because of which I am able to lift my hand, go to the book with an effort, whatever be the effort necessary, to turn the pages to 32. And that very action of the turning is also the expression of prana acting through my hand. Even the prana is, before that prana is able to do that action, even the prana is possible to come up to the act, is because of Chaitanya. Without the presence of the Chaitanya, prana will not engage in any action. So even without, even as I'm eating and sitting and eating a food, the food that is gone is going to be digested, and the digestion takes place because of all the pancha pranas, and the pancha pranas have to immediately act on it, and that activity of the prana takes place because I am alive. Chaitanya is there. So because of the Chaitanya, with the upadhis, equipments which are unseen by us, upadhi here pranas, with those the prana, that there will not be any final effect will take place. So therefore, upadhi, here he says, jnana ashraya ayatta, with the support of the jnanam, or here the consciousness, prana adhishtita, which is support, which is established in the prana, stula upadhi nibandhana bhaved. Stula dehasya, stula deha nibandhana bhaved. The gross bodily action also, depending on the prana, which depends upon consciousness, is able to engage in action. So when we see a person walking, that walking is possible because of the prana. Prana is supported by the consciousness, and because of that consciousness alone, that person was able to walk from one point to another. Our book opened the page. So therefore, Antaryami Ishvara Sannidhana Ayat Tattvat, because of the Antaryamin, Ishvaraha, Tasya Sannidhe Ayat Tattva, with the support of his presence, Pranadi Cheshtayaha, through the activities of the prana, Sarva Jantushu, in all beings, Pratiyamana Cheshta, seen all actions, Api, also Ishvarasyeva iti artha. It's all also because of Ishvara only. Therefore, all actions are possible because of the Kriya Shakti of the Ishvara, and therefore he is called Sarva Shaktiman. Sarve Jantushu Shakti Rupena Paramatma Santa Antaryami Ishvara eva asti yasya sannido eva pranadi cheshtaha sthula sharirasya cheshtaha sambhavanti. So therefore he is Sarvatmaka. Sarva Jantushu Eka Atma. All right. Now, having explained about the Kriya part of it, then what is the Parinama? Earlier, Spandamana, Spandana is the movement is explained. Now, Parinama. What is the Parinama? How do you see? A Kriya has two aspects, right? Spandana and Parispandana and Parinama, which is said in the previous verse. Kriyanama, Parispanda, Parinama. Okay, now in the next verse, he's talking about Parinam, change. Utpadya prapta samskarya vikaryopashraya kriya Karoti gacchatyunmashti chinatti di pratiyate उत्पाद्य प्राप्य संस्कार्य विकार्योपाश्रया क्रिया करोति गच्छत्युन्माष्टि चिनत्तीति प्रतीयते. Pratiyate is seen. What is that? Kriya karodi iti kriya pratiyate. These activities are seen. What are the activities? No, here is given. There are four things which are said to be kriya. What are the four things? Utpadya, prapya, samskarya, vikarya. Utpadya means to produce something. Utpadanam. To bring about something out of something. Utpatti. In Hindi mein utpatti hoti hai. Many other languages also. Utpatti. Then prapti. Prapya means to obtain, to attain something, to get something, to reach something, to accomplish something. Samskarya, to purify, to refine, to distill. Then vikarya. Vikarya is to change, transform. So these are the four things. Utpatya, prapya, samskarya, and vikarya. Upashraya kriya. So upashraya kriya. Upashraya. Ashraya means support. What supports? The kriyas, these activities are supported by only one. And by which we are able to see the effect of it as karoti. Utpadyam karoti. Prapyati, gacchati, attain or reach. Samskaroti, which is in the form of unmashti, to rub, to clean. Vikaryate, meaning in the form of chinatti, cut. So the example is utpadyate, like production. Go to any factory, they produce something. Production department. Production is where they assemble certain things and make a new product. Typical example is to take the clay or the mud, and then add water to it, and then put it on a rotating wheel, and this pot maker is able to produce pot out of that mud, and then give a shape to it, and then put it in the oven or whatever, that eating thing, and baking. Sorry, it's not a oven. Baking. He bakes the pot in the heat of the fire, and then it becomes a firm pot. Then therefore, from the clay, which is shapeless, formless, it will become a shapeful, formful pot. So therefore, he produced a pot out of a clay, which was not there before in that form. So he had produced something new. So that is called utpadanam, utpatti. So, and then you go from here to another place, taking a flight and then reaching the another place. So going, gacchati. You take a car and reach a place. That is considered as another action, which is in the form of prapanam or prapti. Obtainment, reaching. Then there comes the third one in the form of samskaranam, samskarya. Let us say that a brass vessel is there, which is exposed to this sunlight or whatever. It has lost its luster and it is not bright at all. So you take certain powder, etc. Bartenders friendly or something. What call that? Whatever. So you take that powder and add some water to it and then rub. Then the dirt is gone and the metal, that brass metal starts to shine. So you have done an act of refinement, cleaning, polishing. That is called samskaranam, samskar. So then vikara means a particular thing has lost its original condition and has moved into another condition, not to go back to the previous condition. See, in the case of a pot, it is pot all right, but when you break it, it will become again sand and mud only. Whereas if, let us say, you take the milk and add the culture to it, then it becomes yogurt or the yogurt, curd, what do we say? Then from curd, you cannot go back to milk. So once it has transformed itself, it cannot revert back. That is called vikar. It has changed its original nature. It has moved to the next nature. You cannot revert back it. So it's called vikar. So all these are all activities in general. Karoti, gacchati, unmarshti, chinatiti pratiyate. Idanim kriyakaryam darshayan kriya sadbhavam dasadayati yadva parispanda rupam kriya muktva parinama rupam udaharati utpatyadinam yad yata sankyam udaharanam karoti ityadi unmarshti marjanena samskaroti ityartha iti karma karaka vyapashraya parinama kriya pratiyate ityartha. So earlier one, which was in the form of merely perceptions, which is an activity of the senses in the presence of consciousness. And when you engage in any such thing, it is also called the act of the Ishvara only in the form of spandanam, awareness. And when it is physically engaged by the physical body, and which involves external objects also coming into become a result of this action, of your action, the external objects or external world also subject to certain changes because of your action, also is the work of Ishvara. In other words, my action can affect the world. When I do something, I am creating a chain of further actions. So when I go and get some vegetables from the market and then come home, cut the vegetables and make food. So that means vegetables, once they are put into the boiling water and it is started cooking, I cannot go back to the original. No, I want vegetable back. You cannot do that. It's cooked. It's gone. So that is called parinama. In one of the parinama is vikarya. So vikar, I have done the vikara also. So I have, once I have prepared the food and you become the victim of the food, so let us say, then you have a stomachache. So my act of creating food has created stomachache for you. Then because of you did not know that I created that stomachache, or you didn't realize that. So you go to the doctor. And doctor looks at it. So you have made an action of eating. I actually made the cooking, and you did the action of eating. and you got the stomachache, and then you walked up to the doctor or went to the doctor. So went to the doctor, then he actually prescribed some medicine. So you gave him work also. I gave you work and you gave him work. After that, you go to the medical shop. So you buy the medicine. So you give the work for that fellow also. See, my one act of cooking can create chain of events. You see? So then he had an old stock of medicine. So he said, okay, just say, so he gave that to you. So he felt very good. So the extra money that he has got, he went and bought some toys for his son. And then that shop fellow has been given a work. So then he took the toy and went to his son and gave the toy to him. The toy, he started play, that the boy started to play. So he had given a work to him. And he actually put it inside the tank of water. So the mother starts screaming. So he engaged a fellow to jump into the water to pick up the toy. So he gave work also to him. And he got a flu. So he went to the doctor. So he gave. See, it's important. It is, you understand what one action can cause. So the entire world is made into so many activities by the Kriya Shakti of the Lord. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yandra Arudhani Maya. He makes sure that everybody is engaged in their action. Everybody according to their own gunas, guna and kriya. So therefore, upadhi vashat kriya. According to the upadhi, so will be the activity. So sarva shaktiman, sarva vyapaka hi ishvaraha. Sarva sandushu atma rupena, pratyakatma rupena stishtannapi sarva karyanam hetuhu atma paramatma. Sarva kriyatmakaha. All right. So this way, the world is set into action. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says, Tasya kartaram abhimam vidya kartaram avyayam. I am the karta, tada, at the same time akarta. So when you look at the external, final, the grossest point of view is the karta. But what is he doing? He's just present there. Upadhis are doing their actions in his presence, and therefore, from the external gross point of view, if you look at it, is the karta. But in the subtlemost aspect of you look at him, not a karta. Sasya kartaram abhimam vidya kartaram avyayam. Now you see, sarvajnatva kinchijnatva upadhi. He is a sarvajnaha, at the same time kinchijnaha. Sarvajnaha Ishvaraha, kinchijnaha Jivaha. Both he is on, according to upadhi. So that is explained in the next verse. Shivo Brahmadi Deheshu Sarvajna Idi Bhasate Devatiryang Manusyeshu Kinchijnastaratam Yataha Jarayujonda Jaschaiva Svetaja Punarudbhitaha Ete Chadurvidha Purva Kramasho Nyona Vrittayaha Shivo Brahmadi Deheshu Sarvajna Idi Bhasate Devatiryang Manusyeshu Kinjiknyastaratam Yataha Jarayujondajaschaiva swadeja punarudbitaha ete chadurvita purva kramasho nyona vrittayaha. Sarvajnaha iti bhasate. He is shining itself brilliantly as Sarvajnaha, where Shiva, Brahma, Adi Deheshu. Shiva should be understood as Ishvaraha, Sarvajnaha, Brahmadi Deheshu. Shivaha, Sarvajnaha. Both of in Pradama. Shivaha, Brahmaha, Sarvajna. So here Ishvaraha, Sarvajnaha. Bhasate. When Brahmadi Deheshu, in the exalted forms like that of Brahma. Brahma is not a physical being, really speaking, but even though if you consider it as the Swayambhu Paramat, that is one who is the creator of the universe, Swayambhu means Swayam Bhavati, Swayambhutatvat. He was the one self-created. Body of his is created by himself. So that Brahma, who is the Adikarta, and even he, see, if he is Sarvasya Karta, then if he is the person who is the creator of everything, that means he is Sarva Shaktiman Saha. He is a man of a person, not a man, a being of absolute power. So even in him, that Ishvara Eva Karta. And even that, in that, he is not only Sarva Karta, to know everything, to say, do everything, Sarvajna api. So he is a Sarvajna. Sarvam janati saha tasmat sarvam karoti. And when it is in the case of a Brahma, he is a Sarvajna. But when it comes to Deva, Tiryang, Manushya, when it comes to the bodies of the Devatas, or human beings, or animals, kinchit janati. Little only knows. Taratamyataha, according to the gradation of Upadi, according to the quality and efficiency of the Upadi, Deha Upadi, Antaranga Upadi, based upon the quality of the equipments which each one of them possess, accordingly, in gradation, Deva, Tiryang, Manushya, in all these living beings, according to the equipment through which he expresses, he would be limited by its knowledge. Limited knowledge is expressed. In general, all living beings are divided into four, according to their birth. Jarayuja, Andaja, Svedaja, Udbija. Jarayuja means born out of womb. Mammals, what do you call mammals? So, Jarayuja. Then Andaja means born out of egg, like birds. Born out of egg. So it is not directly from the womb, but the egg is laid from the egg, then it is born. They are called Andaja. Andena Jayate iti Andaja. And Svedaja, born out of sweat, like mosquitoes, etc., or many of the worms are born out of stagnated water, impure water, polluted water, like bacterial, all those small molecules you can't even see. They are all considered as Svedaja. Sveda means sweat, basically. Sweat means dirty water. So they are also included. They are also born as mammals, born out of the egg, born out of the sweat or dirty water. Then Udbija, all the plants are called Udbija, born out of seed. Bijena jayate. Bijat jayate. Udbicha, opening the bija. So seed born. So mammals and born out of egg, born out of sweat, born out of seed. These are all the 4 types of living beings. Ete chadurvidaha. This way there are 4 of them. Purva kramashaha. Nyuna vrittayaha. According to their nyuna. They are lower according to the gradation of them. They are all considered as having lesser and lesser knowledge according to their equipments of expression. Nyuna means low, decreased, diminished, vrittayaha, beings. So kramashaha, according to what? According to deha, according to the body they possess. So this way, even though there is ekaha ishvaraha api, upadivashat, kramashaha, kriya tada jnana pravrittihi sambhavati. So they are according to the deha through which the consciousness is expressing. According to that, they become alpajnaha also, or if that is because the same presence is there in Brahmadi Deheshu Sarvajnaha. In this way, the explanation on how idanim sarvajnatva kinchitjnatve ekasmin api upadibedena api upadibedena api avadishtade iti upapadayadi shravayadi taradamyataha ityuktam kinkritam jiveshu taradamya iti apekshayam tattat sharira upadikritam tadityaha. According to the upadi, according to the body they possess, body includes all the equipments that are mature or immature, etc. So that is how jarayujeshu api jnanadi taratamyam drashtavyam. Not only the action is limited because of the body they possess, but also the expression of knowledge also depending upon the equipments through which it is expressed. So presence is the same, expressions are limited based upon the equipments through which it is expressed. This way it is explained. So next class we will conclude the first verse and we will move into the introduction to the verse number 2. Right. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.